Okay guys, this is a first of a few videos I'm going to put out about mindset and, and things you should be thinking about when you're in these trades and taking these trades. So the first one is about power shifting in the market, mental power shifting. So the first thing you got to remember in the market is, despite what the market does, the market will do what it wants on any given day. No matter how good a setup is, how good a setup looks, you know, by outside factors, by news or anything else, the market haven't got to play to what we think it's going to do on the day. So these setups can fail. Just because something looks good, it's not 100%, as you know, that it's going to work out to how it looks on the charts or what we think it's going to work out to. So the first thing is, the market don't take our money, we give it. And what I mean by that is, like I said, the market is going to do what it wants. If we wanted to go up and everything looks like it's going up, it hasn't got to play ball. Okay? It can quite easily go down and ruin our setups. You're only a losing trader if you give your money to the market. The market don't take your money, you give it. And the way you give it is by breaking the rules and staying in things that you know that are not working. So the solution to that is get out of the trade. It's as simple as that, guys. As long as we're on the sidelines, we ain't giving our money to the market. If we're in a trade and the setup fail, or we get to a max loss, we get out of the trade. That's going to happen. This is why we got to design our trades and our risk factor that we ain't giving too much away. Like I keep saying, that's going to affect our accounts. It's all about managing the losses. But what we got to remember every time we're in a trade is, if we're going to hold on to these losers, we are giving our money away to the market. And we can stop this by getting out of the trade. It's that simple. All right? Point number 2, nothing can happen without our participation. Just building on the first point, if we ain't in the trade, we ain't giving our money away. If we ain't holding on to losers, we ain't giving the money away. So 2 people with the same size account, the same risk and the same game plan can get into the same trade. But if one person ends strict their rules, when that bell goes, person number 1 could lose 1,000, 5,000, 10,000, 50,000 on a trade, while the other one is losing less. And it's all about not participating. So without just participating in giving our money away and staying in a losing trade, you know, the market can't take it. It can only take what we allow it to take. And that's important to remember. We got the power in this. We got the power to make it happen or make it not happen. Number 3, take note of the warning signs of what you're seeing. So if you've took a trade and you're in a setup or you've hit your max loss, that trade ain't working. Hope and a strategy, as you read and hear every day. And it's true. Hope and a strategy. If you set a plan pre-market that you're only going to risk a set amount of cash to make a set amount of cash, and it doesn't go in your favour and the alarm bells start ringing, they ring in for a reason. If you've hit you a loss, you need to get out of that trade. That's one of the factors you've predetermined that's going to tell you that trade ain't working. So before that trade even happened, before the setup even happened, you've determined, if we hit X area or if we hit X amount, that's telling me that trade ain't working. So by you holding on to that trade, not only are you breaking the rules, but you're also swimming against the tide. You know that trade ain't working, so you need to get out. And in the next video, I'm going to go through the mental aspect of why we do that and how we can change that. But don't ignore the warning signs. When the trade don't work, you're out of the trade. It's as simple as that. There's no ifs, there's no buts, you're out of the trade. And like we keep talking about in the room, if things turn round and the trade starts working, you can always get back in. You haven't got to watch your dollars decline on these trades. You can get sidelined, and if the trade turns, you can even get back in at a cheaper price, especially with options. Number 4, shift the power back to yourself when things go wrong. And that's just building on the first 3 points. You've got the power to control this. You haven't got to be in losing trades. You haven't got to give your money away. Number 5, you're in full control of what happens to your account losses. So again, 2 people can trade the same thing and have 2 different outcomes with their losses. We can't control what the market does, but we can control absolutely every time what we do. And that doesn't mean we got to be right on a trade every time. What that means is when we are wrong, we recognize we're wrong and we get disciplined and get out of the trades and stick into what we predetermined. Number 6, and you know, this is important, this is, guys, breaking the rules will snowball into a bad habit. So the comment at the bottom, we are looking for consistency in habits, an habit in a win and an habit in a loss. Now, these two things are, very important, because the whole point of trading is building these habits. Just like when you're learning to drive, you automatically, after so long, put the brakes on the car when you need to without even thinking about it. Before you realise you've done it, you hit the brakes on your car when you need to hit the brakes. And that's because you've built habit, you've built reputation, and you know what to do automatically. It should be the same with trading. So by breaking your rules, you're snowballing into bad habits. You're building on bad habits, and those habits are going to get worse if we keep doing it. So the whole point of new traders starting small and risking small is to build these habits. So when these losses come, we're automatically cutting these trades. We're not even thinking about it. We're automatically doing it. If you're not at that stage, and you can do it automatically, set your hard stops, set your trailing stops, whatever that may be. Just make sure, if you can't do it manually, you're taking the emotion out of it and you're putting these stops in. Because if you're not at that stage where you should be automatically getting out of these trades when we recognizing they're not working, take the emotion out of it, let your broker do the work. But the important thing to remember, guys, is when we are not doing it, you've got to look at the bigger picture. We're building bad habits going forward. So every time you hold on to these losers and they're being stubborn for whatever the reason may be, or you're hoping the trade to come back, you're just building a bad habit. And the bad thing about this is sometimes, there's many bad habits you can do in trading. One of them is averaging down. Another one is holding a loser and it turns around and works in your favour. So that's all well and good if it works out. But what you got to remember is the downside of that is you're building an habit going forward. So next time you've got that habit of averaging down, or you've got that habit of holding the loser because it worked out previously. So the next time it could be, it might not go in your favour, or the loss could be 10 times bigger than the time before. It's all about habit building. You've got to build these habits. So every time you do it, you're getting sharper and sharper, and you're getting stricter and stricter in your rules. So every time you want to hold a loser, or every time you want to do something you're not supposed to, just think of this bigger mental picture, because we are building things we should be doing automatically. We are sticking to rules we should be doing automatically, and we're trying to build consistency, whether it's good or a bad day. And consistency works in both directions. Consistency with green days, and consistency in cutting these losses small and keeping your account safe on the bad days. So every time you break your rules, because we all do it, guys, we're all human, we all have bad days, we all have bad trading days. Every time you break your rules and you're holding something you shouldn't be holding, just ask yourself, do I want to make this habit going forward? Does this want to be the path mentally I want to be trading at going forward? Is this feeling of this bad day going to be magnified in the future, and am I going to do it more? So just think of these, guys, next time you're doing it. This ain't about a single trade. This is about building the mindset and building a proper mindset of what you should be doing trading on future trades. And the other downside of this is, if you have a bad day, you've got overspill. It's going to spill over into the rest of the day. If you got a bad trading day on a Friday, it's going to spill over into your weekend. You're not going to go into the next week or the next day with a proper mindset because of the bad decisions are made previously. And we all do it, guys. We've all done it. We're not looking for perfection. We're looking to get better and better, bit by bit, every time. It's all about survival. It's all about building on good habits and eliminating bad habits. But just to emphasize in this, the mental game is the biggest part of trading. If you can't get the mental game right, you won't have no chance. If there's bad habits that you're doing, they're going to get worse. You're not going to change your consistency and profit until you change your habits. So just want to be aware of these, guys. This is going to be an inroad into the next video I'm going to put in a room. But have a think about these points going into this week. Just remember, You're in full control of what happens to your account. We've got zero control over the market. We can only react to what we see on these charts, but we've got 100% control if we're going to participate in a good move or a bad move concerning our money. This is your money. Look after it. Number one priority going into the market is account protection. Every time, every trade, no matter how good a setup is, number one is looking after your cash. So keep these in mind going into next week. Even jot them down and stick them around your computer. And just remember, you haven't got to stay in these trades. You are in full control. You can sit on the sidelines and watch something go wrong, or you can be in that trade and be part of it going wrong. You've got full control. You haven't got to participate in these trades, okay? Especially when they go wrong.